Hello, my name is CORPUZ, and this is my comprehension video. I learned that morality is goodness of things or an act, and discernment is the ability to judge wisely. I also understood the difference between human act and the act of men. Human act are voluntary action. It has two rational faculties, namely intellect and free will. Human act also has three elements, namely knowledge, freedom, and volunteer. Knowledge is when the agent is aware about the two rational faculties. Freedom is doing an action without any hindrance, and voluntariness, which means power of will, which is only present if the other two are present as well. I also comprehended the three attributes of human act, wherein according to which an action should only be carried out by a person who is fully aware of the potential repercussion of their action, is free from outside influence, and of course, made the decision voluntarily. One example is studying well because you chose to do it. And no, if you don't, then you will suffer from low grades. Act of men, however, are involuntary action. Example are snoring and sleepwalking. Next are the three elements that determine morality. First is the act itself, or the object used. Purpose is the intention of the will, and circumstance the factor that make the object lessen or strengthen the morality of the action. And these circumstances have 7 types. There are circumstance of person, quantity or quality of the act, circumstance of place, means of instrument, manner, time, and the motive of the agent. Example for robbing a bank in order to pay for your debts because of your mother's hospital bills. The object here is robbing. The intention is to have the money in order to pay your debts, and the circumstance due to your mother's hospital bills because it added as a factor why you needed to rob. And of course, I understood the 5 types of condition that affects morality. And firstly is ignorance, which means lack of knowledge. This also has 2 types. They are ignorance of the fact, when you are aware of the law but not aware that you're violating them, and ignorance of the law, when you have never known about the law. Example for the ignorance of the law. When a driver does not know there is a 60km speed limit, but when a driver knows that there is a 60km speed limit, but does not know that he's traveling at 80, then that is the ignorance of the fact. Second is fear. This is an emotion and it diminishes the voluntary nature of the action. For example, when you fired a gun to an intruder because he was holding your mother hostage. You are afraid something might happen to your mom, so you killed the intruder out of fear. Third is concupiscence, known as lust or physical desire. Example is when instead of being faithful to your partner, you had sex with other women because you felt like it. It makes you unable to think morally due to your desire. Fourth is violence, an external force that causes someone to do something against their will. It has 2 types, perfect and imperfect. Perfect violence is when someone completely resists. Example is when a child is being teased by other kids and she got away by kicking them and ran away with full power. But when a child allowed the kids to tease her for thinking they would soon stop on their own, this is imperfect violence because she can resist but chose not to. Lastly, habit, temperament, and mental disorder. Habit affects morality because you are prone to doing an act even if it is at the very least only voluntary, because you do it freely and repetitively. Temperament, because the way you react also affects your own morality. And mental disorder, because people that have them have no power to determine whether they are doing is morally right or morally wrong. Example is when a mentally challenged was sentenced because he took a dress out of the store and claimed it was his. He lacked judgment on what he did because he doesn't know right and wrong. And that's all for the comprehensive video. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you learned a lot.